Today, I'm going to do some printing with some unexpected objects. I'm using fruits and vegetables. See you on the other side. This is what we're going to be printing with today. The other things I have handy, I have a brayer. I have this tub that I have an old cloth in so that I can rub the brayer off and keep it free of paint. We're using acrylic paint and this is a very wet towel. I'll have a piece of paper if I want to roll off some of the paint, but then I can roll the rest of it off in here so that the brayer stays clean. These things already have paint on them now because my video quit working. This is a piece of romaine. It's the end of the romaine lettuce, and I thought that had interesting texture. I use things from my fridge that are going bad or spoiled or past date. So I have a half of a Brussels sprout, a shallot. I have it cut both crosswise like this, and then I wanted to get this side too, so I have it cut both ways. I have some pecans and some walnut. I did try the lime, so this is the lime that I started with, and then I also have this cross this other side of the lime, so it looks like this. I actually think these came out kind of cool. So here's the pepper, and this is a piece of garlic. I'm gonna make a couple disclaimers. I'm using palette paper. You could use a piece of glass or a piece of plexiglass. Do not use your gel plates. And here's why. Because these vegetables are acidic, and I'm worried it would pit or ruin your plate. Today, I'm just using some sketch paper to try out what we're doing. I do want a good amount of paint on here. Ooh, I kind of really like that. So that's the shallot. I think that's very interesting. Okay, and then this is the shallot cut where you would get the circles, although it's a half circle because that's all I had. This is the garlic. Let's see what happens with the walnut. So the walnut doesn't really look like a walnut, but it was a nice try. You'll never know if you don't experiment. You have got to experiment with these things. This is the romaine lettuce. This is my favorite so far. A very cool texture. These would make great backgrounds in journals. And my favorite is going to be this lime. The lime is juicy, so before I did it, I dabbed it on a piece of paper towel just to try to dry it off a little bit so it would maybe take the paint better. So you could repeat, you could make patterns. Nothing's ever going to come out perfect. It's never going to be the same twice. I just kind of gently but firmly push the pepper down, and this is what you get. You know what I've used before that works really wonderful? You know those, you can find bags of little peppers. They're little. They're probably not much bigger than my Brussels sprout here. Those work fabulous with this. I've done it before. You can use any fruit or vegetable you can find in your kitchen. I sometimes go to the local market and I look for their old section in the back of the store. They have a section where fruit might be, you know, going bad. It's not quite bad, but it's going bad, and I picked those up for doing something like this. So it might be, you know, the citrus is a little soft or funky looking, you know, kind of like how this is. I really love this. I really love the way the lime really comes out. So these are some older stamps that I had done with vegetables and fruits. This is the root end of a celery. I cut off about this much of the end. You want it to be flat in order for this to come out, and I stamped with that. This is some more lemon or lime slices. This is some broccoli. I peeled off this little section, but I cut it so it had a flat side, and the flat side is what I printed with there. This is some of those tiny peppers. That's what I used here. These are the concentric circles of an onion, and this is the root end, so the furry kind of roots at the bottom of the onion I tried to stamp in there. And then this is just the circles from the onion, which I also think is very cool. This is a portobello mushroom. I love the mix of the paint here, the colors that happened kind of just really made me happy, and I thought these came out great. It's my 8.5 by 11 Dylusions journal. We're going to do more of this stamping, and I'm just going to do a little color in the background. I want to get some kind of light coloring I have some romaine lettuce that I just cut the end off. I have a shallot because I like the way this came out the other day. I have these little button mushrooms. Again, cross cut. You want this flat surface in order to print with it. I have this apple with this cool, the seeds usually make a star. This is defective. The seed should be over here. It's not. So I have this. I'm going to try this, but I also have this end, and it has this farther out sort of flower looking pattern that I'm going to try. I have these lemons. I have this cut both ways. So I have a side view and then a half. Well, I'm going to start with the lettuce. And try printing on another page here. I think I'm going to try the apple. All right. I love that. I cut that into that loose rectangle, and to me, this could be a great page. And yes, I'm repeating the same thing over and over again. I just love the way that looks. To finish up here, so we have this. I love the citrus, as I said, and I love the half citrus. The pepper came out great here, I thought. Here's another citrus page. I love when the colors mix together. This, I really love this one. This is the end of the romaine lettuce. I like that a lot. And I love the garlic. It's just that it had been up here for a while and, you know, got dry. But that's a very cool one. This is some Brussels sprouts here. This was this walnut rolled around on the page. It doesn't print like a walnut. It kind of gave some great texture. This, though, is a big time experiment thing. This is one of those things when you look in your vegetable bin or your fruit bin and you've got some old fruit and you want to play. This is the time you're going to do something like this. Be open to the experimentation and figuring something out.